22 of the best drivers in the world. It'll be very fast. The biggest motorsport fan base in the world.
Formula E racing is returning to China and taking place in Shanghai for the first time this May.
After 4 seasons away, Formula E returns to the country where it all began, as the all-electric single-seater series gets set for a visit to Shanghai. It will be the first time since 2019 a Formula E race has taken place in China. The first race was held in Beijing in September of 2014. But what is Formula E? And why Shanghai this time around?
Welcome to Shanghai.
Thank you.
I sat down with Jeff Dodds, Formula E's Chief Executive Officer, to hear what he has to say about the upcoming race at the Shanghai International Circuit, which will be held on May 25th and 26th.
You must be very excited about the returning of Formula E this year.
So excited. I mean, other than it's the biggest EV market in the world, which is incredibly important, the biggest motorsport fan base in the world, and just an incredible place to come and race. So I was here 20 years ago for the very first Formula One race in China, which was in Shanghai at the Grand Prix circuit. So to come back after 20 years, and for Formula E to come back after 10 years, because our first race was in Beijing 10 years ago. So it feels like a homecoming for us. So yeah, very excited.
2024 is a pivotal yet exciting year for Formula E. For those who may not very familiar with the event, how does it differ from a Formula One race?
So compared to other motorsports, so the first thing is much more competitive. So in Formula E, we are in our 10th year. We've had 9 seasons and we've had 8 different winners in 9 seasons. So it's not a case of knowing who's going to win the race when you turn up. It will be highly competitive and it will go down to the wire. So very competitive. In terms of the environmental angle, so obviously we're net zero. So we've been net zero from day zero. So we're fully focused on sustainability. And if you come to watch the race, it's very quiet. The cars go past you at 200 miles an hour, but it's very quiet and very clean. And on top of that, you get to see the showcasing of the latest technology. So you're getting to see state-of-the-art electric vehicles at their absolute best.
Has Formula E adjusted its marketing and promotion strategies for season 10 now that Shanghai is back on the schedule?
So everything has changed over the last. So we're in the second year of what's called the Generation 3 racing car. So we had a first generation car. When you look back, that wasn't very good. You used to have 2 cars, the battery only lasted for half of the race. Then we had the Generation 2 car where the battery lasted for the full race, but it wasn't very quick. And now we've got this amazing Generation 3 car, 200 miles an hour. So the car kind of markets itself. But given it's our 10th anniversary in the year of the Dragon in China, coming back to where we started 10 years after the Beijing race, it feels really special. So for this year, we go to our first ever race in Japan, which is where I go to from here. Then we've got some European races, and then we're into China. So it feels we've got this very exciting season ahead of us. Our manufacturers and our teams were incredibly excited when we told them we were coming back to China, because it is the biggest market in the world for electric vehicles. And for them, it's one of the most exciting markets in the world to race in.
How does the facility stack up against other racetracks in Formula E?
I think it will be very fast, and I think there'll be a lot of overtaking. So in Formula E, we tend to have about twice as many overtakes as you would get in a race like Formula One. So there's a load of overtaking, and on this particular circuit, which we've just been shown here at this press conference, I think there's about 12 turns. There's some really quick straights. So I would expect to see somewhere between 100 and 150 overtakes during that race. So it should be pretty exciting.
Cool.
And you know the drivers, 22 of the best drivers in the world, they will want to win here in China, in Shanghai, so there will be a lot of competition.
NEVs are a big hit here. More than 1.2 million vehicles were sold in China from January to February this year. The China Association of Automobile Manufacturers reported as a year-on-year increase of 29.4%. Do you think Formula E has a measurable effect on people's
Perceptions
of electric vehicles in the consumer space?
Yeah, that's why we do it. When we founded the company, we founded it for 3 reasons. to do great motor racing. That's the easy bit. The second bit is to create a platform where car manufacturers could innovate and test their technology so they could develop electric vehicles faster. And the third thing was to be a platform to talk about climate change and sustainability. So we are here to promote the sale of electric vehicles. We're here to raise awareness around climate issues, and we're here to put on an amazing show in terms of motor racing.
Does Formula E have any plans to collaborate with local partners and stakeholders to support the further growth of the NEV industry in the country?
When we race, we will come and educate. So we'll work with local universities, local schools, local organisations to educate around climate change and sustainability. So we'll be doing that at every one of our venues we race at. The other thing we like to do is leave a legacy. So when we come and put on a race, we leave a legacy in the local community. So we like to leave the race venue or the area we race in better than when we arrived. So that's investing in things that perhaps areas of underdevelopment, or investing in education platforms, or leaving some sustainable tools for people to work with.
The city already hosts many international sports competitions: Shanghai Marathon, tennis, golf, equestrian events, and of course Formula One and Formula E. Do you think Shanghai is on the right track to attract even more international sports events?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is 23 million people now, the population I think of Shanghai. So making it one of the biggest cities in the world, and one of the biggest tourist destinations now in the world. So you can see over our shoulder here, if you come to Shanghai, it's changed so much since I first came here 20 years ago. And there has been a huge investment in sport. As you say, I think I was reading when I got off the airplane today, something like 140 or something sporting events here in Shanghai. So I absolutely think this is now seen as one of the top sporting tourist destinations in the world.
Can you feel that people in China are getting more knowledgeable in motor racing?
Yeah, absolutely. We believe there are nearly 500 million motorsport fans in China. That's more than anywhere else in the world. So there are a lot of motorsport fans, and China is leading the way on electric vehicles. This is the perfect match, because you get this match of EV technology and motorsport knowledge coming together. So they are going to see some of the best drivers in the world in the fastest cars in motorsport, accelerating at to 100 kilometers in around 2.5 seconds. They're going to see hundreds of overtakes, and they're going to see a big thrilling finish. So if they've never seen a Formula E race, I would absolutely encourage them to either buy some tickets, come and see it in Shanghai. If you can't do that, get onto CCTV and watch the race, because it should be thrilling.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I hope
Thank
to
you
see
for
you
having
soon
me.
in May.
Yeah, you will do. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.